Well, hello. We're still on like stay in place here in Memphis because of the coronavirus. I think we're a week out to 2 weeks out to supposed to hit our peaks. I couldn't tell you what the numbers are here local, but I have a mom and a sister lives on the East Coast, and one's in New York, one's in Pennsylvania. You know, at this moment, sort of, they. My mom's out in New York, so she could stay healthy, and she's been out of New York since March 6th. So I'm glad of that. And my sister has to stay to work because she's one of those essential people, and she works at home though. So thank God for that, because it was a little tricky there when they was first talking about the coronavirus in February and stuff like that, and taking the subway, and I got real worried when I saw in New York, especially I think it was in Brooklyn they was showing, or the Bronx, or maybe it was both places, where they showed these lines of people to want to get tested, and they were so crowded up together. I'm like, darn, everybody just got the coronavirus in that line. So they've had opportunities for me to go get tested for corona, but by appointment, but I didn't do it. I don't want to be around a bunch of crowds. I want to just, it's like in some ways I thought there for a while I had a little bit of the corona myself, but I have this mask for sinus, and it pushes down on your sinuses and helps it clears up. And I wore that one night, and I realized I have sinus problems. So you don't know what you have, um, and and I'm a little nervous about Trump and his daily meetings. I have to admit that I haven't been able to watch more than about 2 to 3 minutes of it, because of his sort of bad attitude. And I know every president had to be the butt of the jokes, like before him, by late night comedians, and it was just because he was doing ridiculous stuff, and he was not respecting the working class people. And I know he has some following. I'm not sure if he doesn't pay him, and even if he did pay me, I wouldn't care. I have not got no corona money yet, So, and I think we're supposed to get it like this week or next week. I know one person got a check already, and they were like, "Oh, some of the checks didn't come out." I know. I forgot to ask him if that was his check, but I was there when he got his mail, and it was a check from the IRS, or it was a letter from the IRS. So I'm assuming it was that check. So, I don't know. That's good for him. Or who knows? But I don't like the way Trump has. I think the main problem, if Trump would, like, where his rallies was at, if he would pay those cities where he had his rallies at, that would have went a long way for positive, because a lot of these cities, their police force, and it's very important to them. I have to admit that I feel more safe now that we got the corona and we don't have a lot of police, roaming around in our neighborhood with their strapped-on guns. For the simple fact that even though it's like this is a black area, and I got in trouble one time on the phone with the police lady, and she goes, "What color were you?" I'm like, "Everybody over here is black." I didn't know it was insult. I should have said African American, but everybody over here is black. And I'm proud of it. I think there's something with the South and the Jim Crow attitude. Like, I sort of hear like people from India, the country, about the dark skinned ones, and in China about the dark skinned one. But here, I don't think they're that proud of, being black, I mean, there's a lot to be proud of because, usually we're pretty resistant. And I have to admit, once AIDS hit our community and crack hit the community, that it did devastate our community financially. And and then 2008, when that, because a lot of people own their houses over here, a bunch of people lost their houses, and then the city was taking people houses, too. Let me see, you can see people down there? I don't know if you can. There's people out. We're all like getting out in our yard. So, there was more. Oh, I guess somebody's coming home from work. You might not be able to see it. And the kids just went in the house. So, yeah. You can see there's flowers coming up. So, but, yeah, a lot of us is outside, on our porches. And it's a beautiful day. I know, like, I got a hat on. Because I got my hair in braids. I gotta braid it so I could comb it out. Because I haven't combed it. But I don't care. Like one of the neighbors, she's like, "Oh, we're talking from a distance," and she's like, you could, because my hair got thicker, and I'm 59 and my hair got thicker. It's changed. It's not, it's not really a lot of gray in it, but it's different. It's just so thick. But I have fine hair, which helps it twine more. So each one of these I'll just comb out with some water. Yeah, I hear the kids. I just don't see them. Okay, I see one person. They're on the porch. So, yeah, you won't be able to see them. I do see one. They're behind the bushes. But yeah, because I hear them, but I don't see them. So they are still out there playing. And somebody's on the porch, I guess, to make sure they don't dart out in the street. Which, that's nice of them to keep an eye on their own kids. But anyway, but the other ladies that are my age and older, their hair is thinning. I mean, they use a lot of hair extensions, which I'm not gonna. I don't like. I got a tender head. I don't like those tight braids like they did. I'd have to take it out immediately because it feels like it's just ripping it out of my roots. And to come to find out that it does, well, they're all getting receiving, and their hair, they don't pull their hair out by the roots. And all that. But anyway, she was like, "You should get a perm. Can you still perm your hair?" And I'm like, "Yep, I can." I don't feel like it though. I don't know, cause and like usually if you see me scratching, I finally found out which a bodega that I was going to, like fleas are in there, so I can't get. You know what I'm saying? I'll come back and then the next thing I'm itching and picking. There's fleas in there. Like so. So I feel like that's like I feel better. It's like anyway. I'm not talking about the customers. It turns out that it's actually the I don't want to say what I almost said the Arabs. Well, anyways, the guys that work there. We still have a lot of Arabs still in that own little neighborhood convenience stores. Yeah, and I don't go there anymore. I'm not going there anymore because I hadn't been there, and then I went back, and I'm like, yep. This is the place. And I like that. I got a yard here, and I could go out in my yard and do exercise and everything, but nothing has changed for me because frankly I like keeping my distance. And now that we don't have like the police, like I don't have the police harassing me as much. I think they sick with the corona or something, or I don't know, but I feel safer and less crime. For me, that is. So, because like I don't get no respect from the police. The neighbors around here, like they cool, you cool, they cool. Simple fact. You know what I'm saying? And some of them, like our family, been knowing their family, some of them for 50, 60 years. So even though like the people that they knew that was here, my Aunt Lurleen and her only daughter, Emma Jean, passed away. Emma Jean passed away first, and then Aunt Lurleen, she had cancer. Then Aunt Lurleen in 2008, and I won't go through it. I mean, there's been so many deaths just on this street alone. Let me see. I won't say their name, but it starts with an A, last name H. The mother, the brother, and three of her sisters. Oh, four of her sisters passed away. They just tore the house down across the street. I'll just say Miss B. She died. So, well, the other guy in the corner there, he's been dead quite a while. And the house that was next door that the policeman had been living in, that lady, she had died, but her son, he ended up losing it because he went to jail. And then when he came out and he tried to give him like all of it except for a few $100, which I don't know why he didn't go to the auction. I would have went down with a quick deed somewhere with the rest of the money or did something crazy. But he didn't pay taxes, and so that was bad. You got to keep your taxes paid. The city comes and takes. Lucky, they were getting ready to make this place look like Detroit in a minute, so they sort of slowed down, because it's not as profitable as I think it is to. So like I'm pretty sure it was a policeman who got this brick house over here, and they redid it. It had belonged to a lady that had been living there for about 50 years before that. But her son's chronically ill with cancer, so she moved in with him. AIDS, but he has cancer complications from it. Anyway, and that is one of the things that's scary. Oh, and there was some people on dialysis that was down here. 3 people died on dialysis. So it was quite a few people. That's just this one, like, I'm just doing three streets. Or 3 blocks. I'm not even talking about the opposite end or anything. Or the next street over. I mean, that was before the coronavirus. That we were losing a lot of people because, again, HIV, cancer. We have a coal plant. Our electricity is run by coal, and it's just in diabetes, obesity we have bad here. So we have diabetes and all the complications that come with diabetes, and so last thing we needed in this area was for corona. I haven't heard anybody right here that is affected with corona or any of that. But, like I said, I'm staying in place, I know, like, and they're supposed to have, somebody told me there's supposed to be a curfew from 10 to 5. I haven't seen that, but I guess if you have to run up to the convenience store at 11:30 and it's open, the gas station, and it's open, you'll do that. Who knows, you might need toilet paper or something. So, but that the people in the convenience store, they're wearing masks and gloves. At the gas station also, and then I guess Trump wants to open everything back up at the end of this month, the beginning of May, and Memphis hasn't really hit his peak because as soon as when spring break came, that the kids didn't come back from school then. That was like February, and I guess it was, I don't know when spring break is, February, March, but they didn't come back. you know, and um, so the kids are still out of school, which I feel sorry for some of these kids because I don't think that some of these parents um, have ever sat down and had to, do lessons with them. Like maybe they're working all the time, working two jobs, so it's adjustment, and you know. So we'll see how like that. I'm worried about the kids' education. I'm worried about the elderly around here too. Um, there's a few people like I would go visit, but their mom is there and very sick, and I'm not gonna go in. I have visit on the porch for a hot second, but I'm not trying to I'm not trying to visit anybody's house, especially with elderly. And plus, they're not letting anybody in either, which I don't blame them. I'm worried about the nurses that come in, because they're going from, even with those masks or whatever, and with all washing hands and all the best intentions in the world. Who knows, right? Because there's certain objects, I don't know how long it stays on clothes. I know like plastic and metal is supposed to stay quite a while, cardboard like an hour, stuff like that. So, but metals and plastic, I hear something like 2 days or something. You got to be very, very careful. And then the financial problem here. And in a lot of cities with the people not going back, not being more able to work, like the bartender, the waitresses, the musicians, because this is a big music, state bands. So like they do have a thing on Facebook where you can support your Memphis musicians. So and yeah, LA Day. Oh, a lot of tea drinking. Anyway, so if anyways, so like I'm just staying put, So I don't know. And then it sounds like Trump is going to send respirators to Russia. Why? I mean, you're supposed to take care of home first. And I get it. He liked to play the field with women, so he probably always, didn't, worry about home first. Because I heard him one time in an interview about Ivanka and him. And he's like, oh well, she does the baby, she does all that. She takes care of all that. I don't have nothing to do with that. So like, right away why he got divorced. But you got to take care of home first. And America is your home. You know what I'm saying? If you got a misunderstanding or having you think everybody hates you, it's time really to get mature. It really is time to grow up. And if he hadn't been playing golf and goofing off, doing next to nothing, because now he wants to put more judges in. So I think that especially with the Republicans, I don't know what Moscow Mitch is doing. He is a great disappointment. I don't know why Kentucky, just don't vote for him. He's coming up for election. You see the job that he's doing, and if you think that the results of all this negativity thing is not coming from the people in charge, like the president and his Republicans, if you think, oh well, it's everybody else's fault. Oh, it's the Democrat. Oh, it's Obama. Oh, it's Tukaluka. It's no, that's not how it works. If you're in charge and you're a leader, then you really have to know how to do your homework, listen to the experts. I mean, like any job. If he was in any other job, but like he wants to play like you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. When which is like, why are you trying to be so hateful and malicious? People are gonna die regardless. So you could still feel some satisfaction and joy from all these deaths, even if you would do your job. Because I have a sneaky feeling that that he just thinks it's he what I'm saying. And the way like Trump Jr. is talking to people, and I really had wanted Sanders. I thought Sanders was seasoned. Oh man, over there. Okay, talking from across the street. I had to talk, yelling from across the street, up on the porch. So that's what we doing. That's what we doing. That's where we at now. Oh, more people coming out. Oh, everybody's coming out. But it is a lovely day. It's beautiful. But basically, I do have a problem with Trump not paying the cities where he had his rallies at. I think that this is a time that he needs to pay his bills because people are unemployed, cities are suffering, regardless I swear I thought Trump had said that, he's going the governors, could get to get masks and ventilators, and the mayors can get it, because he wasn't going to get it because what had used the taxpayer money for, the ones that he has, the tests that he has and all that. Oh yeah, they can get their own test too. That's his. Yeah, that's ours. It's the federal government. We are the people. What makes the federal government? Without us, there wouldn't be a country. Without the people, that aren't millionaires and billionaires. So he got a real issue. I think it went a little psychotic. I think today I seen him with gray hair, and I was like, finally, you look a little bit better. He did look a lot better than that, whatever that piss yellow hair he was wearing. And I've always been of the mind, if you dye your hair, that when you get older, that you'll rip out the melanin from your hair, because that's all the gray is. You don't have any melanin in your hair. So anyway, and your hair, and if you didn't use hair extensions and wigs and all this stuff, your hair will get thicker. So thinning is bad. Sometimes too thick is bad too. So But it's all right. I might listen to the neighbors and affirm it. Take that blow dry. Take the blow dryer, the comb, and then the flat iron. That's probably the most I'll do. And it'll probably last in this humidity probably about less than 12 hours. There is something I want to hit on. It's sort of, because the Feds is behaving poorly again. Because of bailing out our big financial firms and the wealthy. The same thing that happened in 2008 is happening now, only worse. The price of oil, I'll read what I wrote. The price of oil says the economic is in a foul shape, and all this printing by the Feds is at last gripping of our cash. They're trying to grip a hold of our cash. They're trying to steal all our money. You know what I'm saying? And to transfer the wealth to the wealthy. And that's been their whole thing. So they've been ignoring the average citizen that's making minimum wage or under $90,000 a year. Let's just say, and I think that's the problem, is that they're not, I think that Well, I think that Trump, for a long time, has been used and abused by his so-called friends. They're not his friends. I think that he's been around criminals so much that he thinks everybody else thinks like that. Not some people have never been um, exposed to it. Don't get me wrong. There's a plenty of people that make under $90,000 that are straight up thieves, but um, that's not what that's neither here or there. The problem is they in jail. Even the ones that ain't thieves is in jail. That's another half of this neighborhood. The kids are, up in jail for some bullshit. And the schools, our schools have failed our kids miserably, especially over here. You know, and they're not getting out and getting the good jobs. Oh, FedEx is hiring. So, and UPS. So anyway, my problem is with the financial problem that we're having now, because what's going to happen with our businesses, and I'm not talking about AT&T or Boeing or any of those huge ones. I'm talking about like the beauty supply place up the street, the bodega around the corner, the small business owners. I think that if they don't start testing everybody, so we'll know who has it, so we could not have have everybody get sick at one time and put a run on the hospital over here. And I got news for a lot of these. Before you get to see a doctor, you got to see a lot of other people. And don't call an ambulance in Memphis, because they only have a 6-week course and they make less than $10 an hour. And they just, they might be able to, I don't know. People on the internet said they're like that everywhere, that we have a lot of negativity and hostility because we want to put blame and fault on on everybody. It's like sometimes you can be wrong, but that's when you learn. Okay, like you're like, okay, I was wrong. I don't want to be wrong again. Let me read up on it. Let me Google it, or let me ask the right person a question. Like, can I film cameras wherever place? Don't ask policemen. Ask somebody like a lawyer that studies the law or something. If you if you have a friend like that. So anyway, let me get off the internet. I've been talking almost 30 minutes. But in closing, I want to say that I basically think we're screwed with Trump. I think that he is too busy playing the blame game. If he wants to be respected and liked, just, hey, forget all that. This is what we need to do. We need to have people tested. We need to find out who's got well from having the coronavirus. See if we can get some antibodies from them. If we could get some of their plasma to give to the other people. I heard one good thing where that did work for one man. It could work for more. And also, like, the doctors and the health workers and the nurses and the guys that work maintenance and the security, the reason why they so hateful to basically their customers. If you're an ER, we are your customers. Even if we pay with Medicare or however, Medicare, Blue Shield, or whatever it is, they take it out because the insurance people are not reimbursing the hospitals correctly. A lot of the hospital workers are not getting paid for the amount of money that they need to feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And they're not getting PPEs, protective materials. They're not getting their face masks. They're not getting goggles or or some type of whole face covering. They're not getting, covering something to cover their whole body, those gowns, and even things to slip on their feet. They're not getting taken care of. So they're not, in a lot of cases, you're going to have people, that they can't take it out on their family. And why not take it out on a stranger? So a lot of times that's why we do have bad healthcare. It's because, and plus, like here, like if you're sick, and and maybe like you're not from the South, and they will hit you. I've been hit, punched and everything else. And then I will turn around, even in a dope state, and punch you, and punch you back, because that's a natural reaction. So a lot of normal human reactions, they take it the wrong way, because this is like a state. This is a rape state, and it's a state where you whoop your kids. So that you get a lot, and some people like that, bless their soul, they nice. A lot of times they're not so nice, because their answer is to get violent. So anyway, I think we have no recovery in sight until the Republicans, deal with reality. You know what I'm saying? Because they were still working. They're still getting paid. Trump says he's not taking the money, but the people around him, Mitch, he's, they're all still getting paid. Pence, they're all getting paid. You know what I'm saying? It's the people in this neighborhood that's not getting paid. It's the working class, like the people in this neighborhood. The people that work on the barge that on the river, Mississippi River. People that work for the electric company. The electric company people are still working, probably a smaller crew. But these are the ones that are going to have the financial problem and won't be able to pay their medical bills, and it's going to probably have to, I say, file for bankruptcy. If you don't have any money, and you can't pay those credit cards, you might as well file for bankruptcy. If you can find a lawyer, I think they're still holding courts. There's a lot of revenue that comes in from them, with the police and the court system, regardless how devastated and how much harm and damage it does do to the community. To black folks are living around here. We're mostly black, and it's blacks hurting blacks because we greedy, we jealous, You just do things out of hateful and malice. It's not the time to be that way. It's a time maybe to rethink, do a little reading, do a little studying, and find out. You know what I'm saying? Because once we learn something, okay, we'll master it. And don't, say, so now's the time to educate yourself. You come out of this, maybe you go bankruptcy, but you can come out more rich and smarter if you know something. I always think about Charlemagne, the guy that's on the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? I think he really is a good example of somebody, and he's not the only one, but it's the only one I could think of. An excellent example of somebody that came a long way. He's from like South Carolina or something, from the South, and he really did very well. And he wrote a book. So he went from, it's nothing wrong with educating yourself. He said he just went to night school, got his GED, and now he's wrote 2 bestseller books. So, I don't care what age you are, it's never too late to learn, and not to blame or take it out on somebody, even if you're kids. Don't take it out on them. Don't let them aggravate you. Don't let them stress you out. Get you something to do. Do something. Cook some food. Teach your kids to sing. Anything. Oh, there the kids are. They're playing now. Uh-oh, they wow. I don't know if you could see them. They're pretty far. I guess they can see me. Okay, bye. So, try to stay healthy. Have tea and honey with ginger and a little lemon, maybe. Anything will help. And